everyone, and welcome to Patch Notes, episode 4 of season 2. I am the person in the middle, David Spinozonchuk. To my left, your right, is Aaron Vindy Gaskins. To my right, your left, is Forrest Wolfclock Pelkey. How are we today on this fine Tuesday recording?
Enjoying some Stubborn Brothers Cherry Drop Top. That's how I am right now.
You actually have at least one stubborn brother, right? Like as a
yes.
matter
Oh,
of,
yes, very much so.
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
That helps
Yes.
you connect to the beer where it's.
I'd say
coming
1.5.
1.5.
The youngest is stubborn in his own ways, but not as a character.
And
Not as a character,
and
trait.
not as a half brother, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, important
Yes,
qualification. And you don't have stubborn brothers, do you?
No, I do.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Forrest, where do you fall on the brother age hierarchy?
Oldest.
Yeah, I'm not even shocked. I just realized I never asked.
Yeah.
But I kind of already knew, but I was just,
Yeah.
oldest by a lot.
My sister is 1 year younger than me.
Okay.
My first brother is 3 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. So you're still pretty. Yeah, you're still. Really
But like in terms of wisdom, you're decades above.
No. As opposed to vicariously lived experience, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would say my siblings can sometimes live vicariously through me.
Yeah.
But that being said, some of my siblings are doing some pretty cool stuff. My one brother is an aspiring game developer. My sister is a novelist and an artist.
A novelist that actually makes a living off of what she does.
Right.
That's
Good for
what's
her.
pretty wild.
Shout outs to Telia.
Yeah, big shout outs.
Yeah.
That's her
She's
screen name.
She's not the one in the Discord, is she?
I think both of my sisters are in the Discord, aren't they? No.
I've only
I
met
think
the one of them who
Zazzers
played.
is.
Yes, I met Zazzers.
Zazzers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
She used to be a streamer.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
cool.
She has her own Discord too.
You know, I always get kind of sad when I think of Zazzers, because when I think of Zazzers, I think of Overwatch, and when I think of
Yeah.
Overwatch, I get sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Big
Womp,
sad
womp,
time.
womp.
Yeah. But that's about a game we're not playing. Let's talk about games we are playing, boys.
What about us and the rest of Steam? Manor Lords.
Well,
Yes.
I got my Manor Lords on the Game Pass.
Yes, not Steam. And you
Playing
know
on
what?
the
Actually,
Xbox app.
I heard that means you didn't have to pay extra money.
I didn't actually.
And that-
$0.
By comparison, I hear you did have to pay extra money, right?
I was happy to pay.
No,
I was
no
happy
lie.
to pay.
Like after playing it now, I would have been okay playing.
You
it.
would, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was very on the fence. So do I
Well,
really
it's
want to?
very
And then it
different
showed up
from the
in
type
Game
of
Pass.
games that you have been playing as well.
Well, so
Right?
I used to play a lot of StarCraft. I used to play a lot of Age of the Empires.
Okay.
So,
All right. Age
like-
of the Empires, huh? You just outed yourself to
Well, I started with 2.
Yeah.
I played 3 and 4. When I just say Age of the Empires, I mean them all.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't think I ever played the first one.
This
no.
this game to me is the closest to Stronghold. I think it's closer to Stronghold. Stronghold 2 actually. He pulls a lot from Stronghold 2.
Okay.
A lot of people
I
have
never
not
played
played
that,
Stronghold
so,
2. It was a game infinitely ahead of its time.
Really?
It's still ahead of its time today because no other game, even Manor Lords, doesn't have some of the mechanics that Stronghold 2 has.
Well, and he's been making this
but
so
Greg-
it's solo devved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, obviously, he's hired some little things and stuff, but he
Sure,
said
of course.
80% of the game he built himself.
Yeah.
I actually sat through the entire credit section, and it was 12 minutes long.
So you
finished
beat a
it?
campaign?
What?
You beat a game mode?
Well, we'll get there. We'll get
Okay,
there. But I finished through the whole credit section, and it was 9 minutes of Patreon supporters. And holy
cool.
crap.
Yeah.
I was like, please, where's the fast forward button? But I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any Easter egg or anything at the
Sure.
end.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever go watch the credits, just stop once it gets to Patreon supporters.
Or
Oh my gosh. And there were some really funny names in the Patreon supporters. It was making me laugh.
Or take a moment to appreciate what crowdsourcing, crowdfunding can do. And so over those 9 minutes or so,
Yeah, because that's
Smile.
how he must have.
He had 1,000 and 1,100 something Patreon supporters.
So at the end of it, yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming he had those for a long time. He's been
8 years, 7 years,
2018. So 6.5.
6,
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the game is amazing. It's essentially medieval city skylines 2 mixed with Stronghold 2, mixed with Total War Combat. But it is not any of those games besides City Skylines. Okay?
I haven't played any of those.
Right,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Total War,
neither.
amazing combat. The army scale was massive, okay? It was almost empire versus empire.
Yeah.
Greg, the lead developer, always likes to say you're a manor lord. You're not a manor king or a manor emperor. Like
Right.
the largest the armies get is around 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you are in command of a village
Right.
or
yeah.
town. Yeah.
Well, and you
you're
can
more
take
like a
over,
mayor
and
than
you can
are a
take
king.
over a region.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're running a country. Like
Right.
you can't even interfere with the king's roads, which is where you get your trade from.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. That's probably going to mean that you can have a lot more effect on the minor details
Oh, yeah.
of
That's
the
what
way
it's all
like
about.
humans, like societies,
The
are
game
constructed.
is very unique, and as opposed to, you know, in Age of Empires, you have a villager. You know, in Stronghold, you have individual villagers, although you cannot control them directly. In Age of Empires, you can. StarCraft, you have your what are they called again? What are the StarCraft units called?
I don't even
The
remember.
mining.
It's been so long.
I know that I used to know the name. You can actually control those. In this game, every unit is a family,
Yeah.
which is and they actually have different jobs that they will decide to do. Some of the families are larger than other families. And yes, you have obscene levels of minute detail over what they're doing. You cannot control them directly, as in selecting them, but you can interact with them in a pretty large way. One of the most really interesting things that I thought was just super immersive, I don't know if you run into this or not. So when you levy your troops
I haven't gotten into combat yet.
and the husband dies,
Oh gosh.
and he was the guy that was chopping the
breadwinner?
wood,
Yeah.
that family does not have that person anymore.
Yeah.
It is
makes
permadeath.
Is there remarriage in your time?
New families will come in,
Okay.
and boys will become men and stuff like that. But so that is pretty crazy. You actually have to think about, if you're going to go conquer a region, you're not ever trying to take a fair fight. And you don't think, oh yeah, I think I can do it, and I'll just rebuild. It's like, no, you lose too many men too early, goodbye. Your whole game, you just start a whole new playthrough. So there's almost that roguelike to it.
Yeah.
And Greg lets you make mistakes that just end your whole run.
Yeah.
If you don't build your logging camp early, he actually has a nice little tip. Be careful, you're about to run out of wood and you haven't built a logging camp yet. If you just like autopilot, that message away, and you don't do it, nothing you can do. You got to start a whole new save. So I like things like that.
Yeah.
The game still has a lot to go. It is early access.
There's some things too, where like the description where you would normally see like a help tip or
Oh my
just, like,
gosh,
options.
it's barren
and
wasteland.
it's just the whatchamacallit.
Text box.
Yeah,
The
it's pretty
box
much
where
it'd be
text,
like
right.
info would be.
Well, it's like
With the brackets.
You click a piece of wood, and you're
It's
like,
the
oh,
arrow
I want to learn
brackets.
what wood does in the game. And it goes, wood, a substance used for fire.
or it'll even have just like the title of what's going to be there someday. You know, with the underscores,
Yeah.
and then it has like the arrow brackets around it. It's like, oh, okay, this is super.
Now,
developing.
I'm not here to crap on a $30 early access game because I knew what I was buying. I was not misled. And I've been watching Greg on Reddit. He is super active on Reddit.
Yeah, I
he
gotta
responds
follow him.
directly.
I gotta start following.
Oh yeah, he responds directly. Yeah, it was some interesting statistics about it. Okay, the most wishlisted game on Steam ever,
Really?
which is crazy. Now I'm sure that would be broken as soon as GTA 6 is able to be wishlisted. But the fact that this game was the most wishlisted game.
You know what that just says though is like how starved RTS players have been
It's
for a really
absurd.
good game.
It's really, really absurd how
Yeah.
starved the industry is. I mean, Age of Empires 4 came out,
Yeah.
and I probably played 50, 60 hours of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't feel like
I got
2.
like 10 hours into it, and I was just like,
It didn't feel like 2, and it's even hard for me to play 2 if I'm not into 2. That's the other thing about RTS though. Like you can't just like leave it and come back to
Were
it.
there obvious things about 4 that were just like shortfalls, or did it just like not have a magic to it?
I would say the obvious thing was tying aging up to buildings.
Okay.
Which was you technically have to have certain buildings to go in the past, but this time it was like I have to build my age up, which felt really weird because I have to use villagers to do it. So they were called, it was the landmark system, which is cool because it's different, but it just...
Not every different cool
that
thing
thing, that was its thing. Age of Empires 3 was the home deck system where you could like, with every time you killed something or did something, you get experience. If you got experience, you could go to your home city back in wherever.
The home city just
and
threw
it would
me
send you
off.
free stuff, which is cool. You build decks. It was like
I didn't
deck
like
building,
it.
which is like kind of neat.
It took me out of it.
Until you're like, oh, when I'm going to go play multiplayer and I'm trying to play a new civilization that I don't have a level 500 deck. Like, okay, it's like little things like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. That's how that was.
yeah, and I didn't mind it. Like, I don't think these are bad systems.
It was they were
They're
trying to
just-
make like an
when you're an
MMO almost leveling type of system.
When you're an Age of Empires 2 fan,
Yeah.
it's really hard to adopt the same game, but these different leveling mechanics that are like way different. But anyways, back to that's a great question though, because 4 is still a good game and it's popular and people play it. People that never played any of the other ones are playing 4. But I would, 4 looks a lot and feels a lot closer to 3, but it has a lot of 2's mechanics. But it kind of feels like, it doesn't even feel like it's its own game though, because it's borrowing too many things
right.
from 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So,
Point is, there was a vacuum that Manor Lords was.
yeah,
able to
I
fill.
think, well, look how scuffed City Skylines 2 was, which we missed that whole. We weren't shooting episodes when that game launched.
No,
But
I didn't even see any coverage on it.
Well, it's because you couldn't even play it.
Oh, I
you had a
see.
3090 that would get like 40 FPS.
Oh,
I will say that's why I didn't know about
Terrible.
it.
Yeah, it was just terrible. You know, you could literally have, I believe it was a 3090 12900K systems were literally struggling to like run the game at a like stable frame rate. And it's like, bro, I got a $4,000 rig.
right.
Huh?
Those make any sense.
I don't know where the game's at now, but it has not had a No Man's Sky
Yeah.
moment.
No.
So anyways, yeah, Manor Lords. Now, I will say there's not a lot of content to this game. I put 20 hours in over the weekend, and I did 5 run-throughs. And now
What game scenario are you playing then?
I am
You were able
doing
to
the
do 5.
easier one first.
I'm
not worried about combat. Oh, it's just the peaceful one. Just try
Piece
to
of
get to a
Prosperity
large
or
town.
something?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not trying to get to.
Because I did the second
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like
That's
right
what my
away,
current
where
save is
bring
on.
the peace to the
Bring the
land or whatever.
peace. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what my current save is on right now. The only thing I have also not touched is combat. But I'm not too excited for it because I've
Me
seen.
neither. It's daunting.
Well, it's daunting, but I've also seen like a lot of like the bugs that are with combat, and the archers were completely nerfed into the ground because they were like
Broken early?
They were lasers and like pre-alpha type.
Yeah.
They were lasers apparently,
Okay.
and so they
That's
got
funny 'cause
nerfed
I
into the
did
ground.
just
And
start
Greg's like,
making archers,
yeah,
but-
Greg's like, I got to make them better. Greg even says like, I'm gonna make them better.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be what they were, but they're not gonna be what they are.
Has he laid out any sort of
Absolutely
update?
not.
Okay.
He
Any-
said, I will
no.
not do that.
Okay.
Because
No roadmap.
He doesn't want to have a roadmap.
Yeah.
And I respect that too because
Me too.
he's like, if I hire, he said, believe it or not, the reason I haven't hired people is most people are not good enough to do the job.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
That's a very truthful.
He's like, I do want to hire a small team, but he's
Yeah.
like, no one's good enough.
Yeah.
He needs
I
to
was like,
find
wow.
the right energy.
Yeah.
He'll find it now that it's released, though. He will find it.
He made
people who are invested in
$1.5
us.
million in the first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I wonder how much Game Pass pays him for downloads.
Microsoft?
Yeah.
All I know is it was reported, not by Greg, but by someone else, that the combat had to be in there for it to even be on Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
So-
very surprised to see it in there.
That wasn't supposed to come for years.
Crazy.
Right.
I'm so
Which is
happy
why
with
I'm
it.
not even.
I'm
I
so
mean, it's
happy
good
with
that it's there, but I'm not even that interested in it right now. Right now,
It
like
might look so different. in
if
a
you
few-
are playing Manor Lords and you haven't figured it out, farming needs massive rework tuning. Okay, so if you're like, wow, I'm trying to farm and I'm always running out of food. There's other reasons you're running out of food, which is super nuanced. Farming needs a complete overhaul.
We're not going to get into any of those. We could do it in a later.
Yeah.
episode.
No. I'm just saying, farming needs a complete overhaul. Don't try to do it. And if you are going to do it, do not buy the Ox upgrade. It actually nerfs you.
The Ox upgrade.
It nerfs you. Yep.
So are you talking about in your development?
Yes.
Or whatever?
Yeah, because you can upgrade
In
that
the
ox
tree,
plow.
right?
You can upgrade the ox
Yeah,
plow.
yeah.
It actually is slower.
Oh
if you have,
Oh, terrible! I'm glad I didn't do that.
if you have,
You did the ox thing, right?
No,
Oh.
I bought.
you buy oxes,
yes, but I
you
did
can
not
you can
upgrade
assign
my
one to a farm
agriculture. Yeah.
and upgrade through the skill tree.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be quicker because wow, well that's how we did it in real life. We actually have plows.
Right, yeah.
If your field's too
And
big,
it touts about it, like in the game.
yeah.
Like, hey, if
your
you're
field
gonna
is
be
too big,
building bigger farms than a one parcel or whatever they measure it with, consider upgrading your ox.
Yeah, and that's like a filled-in text box. So you're like, wow,
No,
it must be serious.
It's supposed to work. The AI of the ox for that is completely bad. It doesn't do it in the proper way.
terrible.
And so as long as you at least do like 3 villagers, you can hold up to 8 in the farm. Oh, it'll out.
So I have 2 different farms right now, and I have 2 families in each one.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
I'm
So
not going
anyways,
to commit anything else because you told me it was.
yeah,
basic.
Manor Lords so far is amazing. It's worth buying just for the 20 hours and getting it for $30 because as he patches the game, like that's another reason I'm not playing it too hard. I want to wait now 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this save and then I'm gonna wait 2 months.
Well, I really want to see if I can bring the peace to the land.
Yeah,
with the current state that it's in.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
Like, I went straight for that because as soon as, I mean, for RTSs for me, it's always about the combat.
Okay, sure,
right?
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I like building up the civilization and stuff, but it's my strategies and my tactics that I want to push against.
No,
the
I
person,
completely
right?
agree.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's conquest
Yeah,
for sure. But
right.
for me, I knew that's what Greg didn't necessarily want right away,
Yeah.
even if that's what I want because I'm with you.
Well, and I thought
so
that
just
was what it was going to be, too, even because I didn't look anything into it. It's just you were talking about it when we were
Yeah.
talking about Gigantic in the
Yeah,
Discord.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I'll probably check it out just because, like, I haven't dove into an RTS in forever.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm like, but do I really want to spend the money right now?
Yeah,
And then
I highly recommend
updated
picking it up.
My Xbox app. And all of a sudden, there it was sitting as the
Game Pass,
freshly new. I'm like, oh, well, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Download.
Yeah.
So I started testing it out, and
Unreal
you
is
rolled in
so
10
good,
minutes,
too.
like into my playthrough.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're, like, you gave me like the little tips or whatever, just to kind of get started. He didn't give too much.
I don't want
just
to. I
like-
think that's why it was so fun for me too. Was like
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's not finished. There's so many little things. You're like, okay, so what if I just test this out?
Correct me if
I'm dead. Let's restart a whole new save.
Correct me if I'm
But-
wrong. The only thing you gave away was like get oxen first, and farming isn't good.
Yeah,
well,
pretty much.
get
Yeah.
the oxen
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dedicated to your login.
Yeah, you only have so much
But-
money to begin with that
Yeah,
like
money is really hard to get
until
Oh
it's
my
not.
gosh.
Until it's not, and then
Okay.
you just have a
I've
limited.
had a couple seasons where I'm like banking, I'm like rolling in 120 gold in the village, and I'm just like, okay, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
the
I'm
same
like,
before last. I had 13,000. Yeah. Like it's a problem until it's not.
It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
But, so I played quite a bit this weekend. I probably put in like 6-7
Yeah.
hours, which is a lot for
It's a
me
lot.
for a new
It's a
game.
lot. Yeah.
And still no combat. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute. I've been doing
Did
a
you build your
village
manor yet?
simulator. Like,
Have
I'm
you-
playing a village simulator.
Have you
right
built your manor? Your actual manor?
Yes,
yet?
I did.
Okay, yeah.
I
You have
finally
your
got my
retinue.
first
You have your retinue. in there.
administrate. Well, so
Yeah.
I haven't taxed my people yet.
Oh, okay. No,
'Cause-
you get them for free. You have five troops for free. They're your personal bodyguard.
Oh yeah, those
And you
guys.
can
yeah.
customize them individually.
Well, so I've
You
been
can
slowly
give them
building my
individual
militia.
weapons, all of that. You can upgrade them.
So my
I kid
idea,
my guys out.
to make income for for this village is to become like a wartime surplus village, right? So
Okay.
I'm making shields and bows
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, you sell those at the market.
Yeah,
Money.
because I just got my first trade route, purchased.
Yeah.
and so that's been bringing me some cash here and there,
There needs to be an arm dealers then, arm dealers now. it's like as much as it's changed, it stayed exactly the same. Anyway, so there's this other game, Gigantic.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I did not play this game. I saw 30 seconds of a YouTube video. What is it?
It is a
MOBA, right?
third-person MOBA like Smite.
Okay.
But the objectives are different from, I would say, what's the traditional MOBA now. What you are doing is you both teams have a guardian, and that guardian has a health bar. So that's what, just like taking out the Nexus in League, right?
Oh, yep. Yeah.
So it has a health bar.
Okay.
But the only way that you get to attack it is not by taking down towers. It's by gaining power for your guardian. And then what happens is once your guardian reaches that power threshold, which is 100 points right now. I don't know if they'll change it right either. But then your guardian like swoops through the battlefield. It's all cinematic and stuff. And then he like pins the opponent's guardian to the ground.
Is it all happening in real time as you're running around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
it's really sick.
Okay.
So then once that guardian is pinned, then that gives your team the ability to actually damage it and attack it. So that's when their team has to defend it. And you don't have only so much time before the guardian.
So you're wrestling them back and forth until one dies.
Okay. And so the way that you get points to charge your guardian, so the first guardian to get to that 100 points goes on the offensive, right?
Okay.
When it gets reset, both points go back down to 0. So you have to restart all the way from the beginning again.
Oh, wow.
To gain your points
up. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
But then you get points for every kill that you get.
10 points for kill.
Is there a snowball mechanic in the game? Like in League, you get gold, which means you get items faster, which means you push.
So have you played Clash?
We haven't played Clash yet.
So admittedly, this is all going from Rush, which
is all from Rush mode.
Yeah. We are now ready to play Clash. We have played
You have to get to level 10 to get into Clash.
Okay.
So we'll have to revisit this conversation once we're able to play
Do you know
Clash.
if that even has items? Like if the game has like any sort of...
It has like skill tree development. So
it
like
has
and the Rush doesn't? Really?
Rush does not. A Rush, I mean,
okay.
like you pick like do you even pick a build or is it already pre-selected for you? Because like
So
I hover stuff.
You can have like an auto build, but then you can choose your build as well.
Oh, that sounds very Heroes of the Storm to me.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you also have summons that you can bring onto the battlefield in Clash mode, where you don't have that in Rush. In Rush, you just automatically get a generic health summon on both sides, and both sides just get one. Whereas in the Clash, apparently you can like deploy.
Is Clash supposed
summons.
to be the standard game?
Clash is the same.
Rush
they don't let you play it right away.
No, Rush is supposed to be the thing that
kinda
like
the same.
gets you into the basics. Like, okay, these are characters. These are
how
their
you
general
move.
approaches.
Kind of like ARAM a little bit for League
yeah,
of Legends.
like or just any unranked mode that wants you to do a certain amount of like familiarizing before you go into the mode that's supposed to be the big one, the ranked one.
So before I go into the reason why you have to play Rush first, though, there's one other way that you get points, and that's to capture points. So there are different points on the field.
Oh, okay, sure.
And so you have to like dig out the energy. Essentially, your characters are doing like sussy stuff and stuff onto the ground, and and if you capture that, then you get 20 points to charge your guardian.
Okay.
And then if you destroy one of their summons, you also get points.
Okay, cool.
So
how much time have you put in this game?
I've put the most time into it out of everybody in the Discord.
Okay.
And I'm probably teetering around 10 hours.
Okay. What do you think overall? Because it's not free to play, right? It actually costs money.
It's $20. Mm-hmm.
There are benefits to that, by the way.
It's crossplay, though, so it's controller friendly.
Oh, okay. Are you playing with controller?
I'm not.
Oh, attaboy.
I'm playing keyboard mouse. Yes.
Character growth.
Yeah.
Right here.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of him.
Keyboard mouse. Sorry.
He's growing up.
So, everybody, I think finally we have David and then Craigo in the Discord that are both reaching.
I'm 10 now.
10.
Yeah.
You are 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Craigo
I
just
played
got
one
to
after
10.
Yeah.
So now we have 4 people that can do Clash. We're still needing that 5th.
And is it on Steam?
It's on Steam. Only on Steam on PC right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will probably borrow it from one of your libraries and try it out.
I mean, you should just buy it. You're going to like it.
You think?
It's $20, yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's a shooter that you get
But is it third person?
Yeah. So it's like Fortnite perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you get to like it's a team tactics game, but that has that mobile like strategy. Like it's not
all right.
It's not as intense as League because there's no item plays in it, right? And we haven't gotten to Clash, which Clash is going to be a whole other thing altogether.
All right.
But the reason why the developer is forcing everyone to do Rush is because the last time they
launched the game.
Yeah,
because I understood this is like a
Clash was just too intense for most people, and I think Smite at the time was really popular, so they couldn't steal the Smite players.
Okay.
And League was still like on that
peak,
up and up and coming trend type of thing. So
Yeah.
they couldn't steal league players away.
Yeah. Oh, it's really
Both
hard to steal.
communities right now.
I mean, it's really hard to go from isometric to third person. I
Yeah.
think in any genre.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But like this tests your shooting skills just as much as your tactics.
Okay.
You know, so there's accuracy in the game.
Yeah,
you know what I
definitely.
mean?
I'm definitely interested in
It's like
learning it for sure.
if Overwatch and Smite had a baby. Honestly, it's kind of feeling that way.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Although
And,
any
I'm-
child
I'm
of Overwatch is,
super
of course,
enjoying
cursed
it.
from the beginning. Yeah.
True.
Well, but
With
this
the
is
entire
their
bloodline.
run back, right? So Gearbox, the publisher behind Borderlands, is
Yeah.
the one that actually republished these guys. So because there was a big
okay.
enough outcry from the original fans saying, "Hey, give this another chance, get another publisher." And so I don't know if Gearbox approached them or they approached Gearbox because I didn't look that deep into it. But part of that renegotiation or that negotiation was that they added a casual mode into it. And that's
Okay.
how Rush came into be.
There you go.
And so now they're pushing Rush as like, learn the mechanics,
And if you
learn how
wanna
the
go
system
dabble-
works. And then if you want to get serious, then you jump into Clash.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally appropriate. Like, I would probably have stopped playing. So there are already things that are over my head about rush mode. Like, I'm still not really understanding why team fights are going my way or the others. Like, I get, like, okay, if there are 5 people on one and 4
We're
people
starting to
on the
figure out the nuances.
Yeah, we're
of
figuring it
though,
out. But if it were Clash
Is
level,
it, is it a
don't wanna-
clarity issue?
Well,
maybe. I might just be dumb.
it's they have 4 different classes, right? So they have DPS.
Just an Alex Jones. I might be slightly retarded.
They have DPS class, they have assassins, they have tanks, and then they have support.
right.
And the assassins, it seems like the role for the assassin is to go after the support. And the
Okay.
DPS,
Can the DPS kill the assassin players?
they can, but 1v1 doesn't.
difficult.
It's
Okay,
very
good. That's proper
difficult.
game
Right,
balance.
Right,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But then the tanks want to, tank up everything, right? Get in the way of everything. Some of the tanks have like really good damage though, and
Yeah,
some of
that
the
hap-
supports will have, quite a bit of damage ability as well. So it's kind of like that early Overwatch stage where it's just like there are some characters that are really blend between tank and DPS or support and DPS.
That's one thing I'll give Riot a bunch of credit for is in their class system, they actually refuse just to do they refuse to say tank. They will never say that.
Yeah.
They will say
Right.
warden
Sure.
or diver because they do not want to lump in.
Yeah.
Same thing with juggernauts. It's like juggernauts are Riot will even tell you strongest champions in the game in a 1v1 setting. You're not supposed to beat them.
Right.
The only thing they all have in common is they can get kited. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like no one beats Darius
Well,
one-on-one
And
unless
the
you're another
tanks-
juggernaut.
The tanks do lose to long range DPS in this game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the tanks just can't get there fast enough, right?
Yeah.
And a DPS, a long range DPS can kite very easily. The long range DPS can kite anybody in the game. Even
Yeah.
assassins can't really get to them if
they have very
DPS
strong
plays.
movement abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which is partly why the assassin characters always go for support.
right,
Because
exactly. supports
have-
cannot get away.
Yeah, not nearly as
You-
well. The
your
long range
team-
DPS.
There are
roll-
no Rakans in the game. They can zip all over the place.
Maybe we haven't explored all the characters
Okay.
yet.
And some of the support don't heal, at least in rush mode. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some of
Zenobia
them-
is a
yeah,
character
up
who,
armor.
yeah, who's like she's supposed to buff, and she does some crowd control because she can slow, but she's in the support class. And as far as I know, maybe my
She
ultimate
almost
heals
feels
a
like
little bit.
She almost feels like a control mage instead.
Yeah, she do, like I have, as far as I know, I have not healed anybody intentionally. I mean, maybe by accident, using some of my abilities that do other things.
You shot me, but it helped.
Yeah. And then there's this one guy like Uncle Sven. Like he's a healer. He's supposed to be very good, but like his healing involves potions. So you throw potions on the ground, and then anybody who's in that area will get buffed. And it can be difficult to coordinate in rush. I mean, once we're better,
Sure.
right, and
All right.
we like understand what's going on.
But the cool thing about like Uncle Sven is he also has the ability to chip damage on
Mm.
players because he can deal burning damage to the opponents.
Oh, nice.
So it's just like all the supports, like they've definitely thought about keeping it engaging for players that are willing to play support by giving them offensive abilities, which is really nice. Something that not all the characters, like say in Overwatch, had.
Oh, yeah. Like you can be a battle mercy, or like from what you could.
Right.
It was tough though.
Her pistol actually kind of hurt. I always
It
felt
can
like.
clap.
Yeah.
It can
It's
clap
not-
if you're not ready, because if you're used to like looking at a mercy as just a very weak healing beam only character that's always just going to be running away, then you can not be ready for the Glock.
Yeah.
But because she can pop. Back in the good Overwatch League days, there were a couple of wonderful battle mercies. I know, I think it was Neptuno who was the best. The good old days where Overwatch hadn't betrayed me yet.
So are you giving not a star rating to Gigantic, but are you getting I refer this game? Or you still decided because you want to try the...
Yeah, we got to. I think we.
I
have
mean,
to try
personally,
Clash.
like I think right now I'm just after trying to find a 5-stack.
Yeah.
Where we can actually like
All right.
get into
play
it,
some comp.
right?
All right, I'll buy it.
All right, nice.
I'll buy it.
Because that was the thrust of that. Is we have four
Yeah,
people,
we
and
do
you
have
were
four
the one we were trying.
I
to
mean,
convince.
you're the guy we want.
Let's say I have
right.
the MOBA experience too.
Right,
So
You are
right.
the Mo Brain.
All right. Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. I will say very, very quick thing. A game I just started playing. I just learned about this game called Esoteric Ebb. It's not on here because I literally just downloaded the demo today. It's just a demo. All I'm gonna say is, since Overwatch betrayed me, it is a complete no contest. My favorite game of all time has been Disco Elysium. I love that RPG. I think it's like a really good detective game. The writing is incredible. Lore goes deep. Esoteric Ebb seems like a fantasy Disco Elysium.
Oh,
I think the
good for
writing might yes. It so far great. I think the writing isn't quite as good because the writing in Disco Elysium was top tier. But like, I don't know how familiar you guys were with Disco Elysium, but like,
I heard of it because I know it's a highly acclaimed game.
super-
Well,
genre.
just from what you've told me.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
about it.
like, I geek out about this thing. But like the way you interact with like the world and the way a lot of the story unfolds in your conversations with others, like you have sub persona. In that you like your skills that you can upgrade, like your authority or your esprit du corps, like your cop mentality, or your conceptualization, or your like composure. All of these are like sub narrators who, depending on how skilled they are, will be the ones who chime in when events happen. So like if my character is very smart but like super weak in Disco Elysium, then I will like miss certain physical checks, but I might get a chat option that's only available because I'm the smart one. Or like if I'm super dumb, maybe I just miss something obviously, but I'm able to interact in some other way because I'm able to just like brute force my way past the situation.
These types of games are so interesting to me.
I love them. But like it looks a
It
lot.
sounds a lot like a way like a D&D game.
Yeah,
it's
right.
meant to do that. Because
Yeah.
they're all roll checks. So like every check could be like boxcars. You could get a 12 on any roll.
Sure.
And like conceivably, because it's insta win if you get boxcars, but like those are only like 3%. There are a lot of 3% success onlys, and I do not remember ever doing it. And I didn't like save scumming in that game. Like I could have like just
Save
saved.
scumming.
Yeah, like just like you reloaded, like, oh, let's try that again. I tried to be pretty.
No.
But
That's not a way to enjoy life.
I love that game. It has like the strongest Spinozone seal of approval that there is. And Esoteric Ebb, from what I've played so far, which again isn't a lot. Like I literally downloaded it today and like knocked an hour and a half into it.
It's got those D&D vibes.
It has the same D&D vibes that Disco Elysium has. It has the same like your inner skills are the ones that are being the voices. Like I don't want to say ripoff because I loved Disco Elysium, and if it's a Disco Elysium
Heavy
ripoff,
inspiration.
yes, it is heavily inspired by my favorite game. Nice. And so to that extent, even if it ends up getting like a 60 on Metacritic or something, I'll still probably buy it and just give it a shot. Yeah, cool. But I don't think it's going to get a 60. I think it's better than that.
Yeah.
You know what didn't get a 60 on Metacritic? Valorant.
Yes. Exactly.
How did the tournament go?
I thought the tournament went very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was fairly competitive a lot among a lot of the teams. I remember if in the final round of the round robin in so the fifth round of our robin because we had 5 teams of regular play. If one of the teams had won, then we would have had a 3-way tie, and we would have had to go into
What?
Yeah, it was like very close to rock paper scissors
for
kind
the
of thing.
second team.
Yeah, for the second.
Yeah.
First was
First you just do game time.
95ers
You could have went back.
just
95.
crazy enough though.
Yeah.
95ers almost lose to who? What was it?
Oh gosh.
Um,
Was that the one playing?
it
Breach?
wasn't potatoes. It was.
Was it
Peanuts?
peanut?
It was the peanut.
I think it was.
Team.
Yeah, they
'Cause it was
went into
off
overtime.
stream,
Yeah, it was off stream and they went into overtime. Yeah.
I wish we could have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I tried to jump into it too.
Yeah,
And you can't
yeah.
jump into
An existing
a private
custom game.
lobby.
Yeah. They're already in the game, and so you can't get
felt
invited.
bad.
Yeah,
It
it
felt
was
so bad.
We
It
could,
was really
yeah,
sad.
you can hop in. See, I don't understand how Riot has rules for me, but not for thee. With the way that they allow certain things in one games, and so, like you can join existing games in League.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you can't rewind them all the way to the beginning.
Sure. No. Yeah.
But you can.
We
join-
Oh
do-
yeah, at a
do
delay,
sing,
like
yeah.
watching it at a delay would have been totally fine.
It would, absolutely.
well.
Because like that
So
game would have
who ended up winning?
95ers did.
95.
Team
that's
Skyro
Skyro's
was
team.
95.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
at the
Wow,
time,
really? Nice.
At the time of the
Good for them.
tournament, they hadn't yet officially released the name of the team that they're
Yeah,
going to be
right.
is 95ers.
Yeah, I just put their team captains as their
Yeah.
team names.
Yeah,
I
of
was gonna
course,
let
yeah.
You guys
Because it
handle
was
that.
Team Amira, and then it changed
Yeah,
to Team
yeah.
Skyro.
And because it wasn't like officially all the members of the 95ers as
they
far as
even
I
have
know.
like 95 in their like game.
Yeah, they have
mechanics and all
95R,
that. Yeah.
and so we were
Oh.
calling them Sky 95.
Sky 95.
Because
I like that.
Skyro,
I like
because we
that.
didn't know you pronounce 95R as a 95er. We're thinking
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's their birth year. We're thinking.
Yeah, we didn't get confirmation.
We
from
did-
Amira.
we did not.
Amira turns out was doing a watch party on her stream the whole
Yep.
time.
Yeah, which
Yep.
was
That
yeah,
was
she
cool.
she asked me.
Yeah.
She's like, "Can I do one?" I'm like, "Absolutely." What?
Oh, of course,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
They have their big $1,000 tournament.
Coming up.
It's
very
in
soon,
it's
isn't
in
it?
June, right?
I don't remember the exact date,
think
but
it's in June.
I
That
I
sounds
offered them
cool.
the studio for free.
Oh,
Cool. Do they have
So-
casters for that then?
I think they're trying to cast it.
Oh, fun.
That would be
But-
awesome.
super.
But I
I'll
think it
totally
would
watch
also be
that
a
game.
good idea because I don't know if they've ever done something like that. They should probably the three of us should talk to them because we should probably have you guys like sub them out halfway through for a little bit.
Maybe.
So they can get a break. I don't know.
Streamed for long periods of times before.
Right, they've
Yeah,
probably done
but
24-hour
casting is
streams.
very different than
Casting is a
streaming.
little different. We treat it so. What I love,
Especially when
about,
she needs to firefight. She's having like what 16 or 32 teams or whatever. She might have to
she's the one
firefight.
that- no, she probably has someone organizing it. If they're gonna cast, I don't know.
I
We
don't
haven't
know.
talked to them about it.
Yeah.
But the fun thing that was about this tournament, particularly here for Edge, is since I had chat up on the monitoring screen here,
Yeah.
we were able to converse with chat.
That's
like,
what I
on
love,
timeouts or in between
Yeah.
games and that kind of stuff, and it was so fun. It felt like we were streaming. It didn't
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
we were organizing a tournament.
That's what I want. I don't like when casters are not interacting with Twitch chat.
Yeah.
I also hate it when casters are hidden
Yeah.
from chat too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm in the minority of that because you never see like even the professional casters.
Yeah.
But it's like seeing professional casters' reactions to plays.
oh yeah, for sure, it's fun.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing.
that's
like
huge.
I love seeing people get excited.
If we ever got big enough to have so much going on in chat that it was just like I would like I can
we
understand
didn't have chat going up on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, it
Like,
was- yeah.
It wasn't
No,
in the
I know that.
broadcast
Only
screen
you guys could
until
see it, yeah.
intermission.
Yeah.
Intermission, it was on
Yeah,
the screen.
that's
yeah, and that's where if you get big enough where it's that big, you have someone just pulling out comments.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
I can I don't.
And then you guys
I
can
don't
just react.
wanna-
You can't react to them in real time, but you can just still react to them. It's
Well,
like,
and
hey,
we were
this
on a
person
60-second delay, so it
Yeah.
wasn't real time. But we
Yeah,
were still having
exactly,
good
exactly.
conversation.
If I will
because
say,
I mean,
yeah.
me and David, we
also
can
had
fill the space.
We
you
had
know?
that was our second most unique viewer count stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I think we had what was it, 83?
I mean, everybody in the
80-something.
Discord must have been watching.
just about, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Our most was our season 3 finals, but there was a $3,000 prize pool attached to that. So
Yeah.
but
A lot
yeah,
of friends and family were.
for League of Legends.
Oh,
For League of Legends.
yeah.
not
I was gonna
Valorant.
say like I
Valorant's
do not
never been
remember.
that
I don't
every-
remember having a $3,000 prize.
yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, I was about.
We'd get every Valorant player in the Midwest.
Yeah, we
joining.
yeah. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. So
so
that was really cool. Yeah, I remember you guys saying it was a blast.
It was super fun.
It was
It was
good.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, 95ers ended
I didn't
up
hear
going-
any. I didn't.
The
Not
only
one
way-
person messaged me about any issue or anything like that.
Because
only way it could be
Steak was
better.
was a coach.
Steak was a coach. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna call him out like
you
that? It's
know-
all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
he deserves
when
it.
when
He
Steak's a
deserves it.
coach, he just shit talks his own team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, because they're in their chat, in
Is
like
that
the Valorant
Chef's-
chat.
Is that Chef's team?
That was-
Chef's team,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He's the
We
coach,
yeah. They
There's some
definitely-
mental fortitude going on in that team.
Oh, it was Chef's team that took them to overtime,
that's what it-
wasn't
yeah,
it?
that's
Yes,
what
it
it was.
I
was.
believe
what it
it.
was.
Yeah,
And-
Justin Intellect and so wait, who was in Grants?
It was potato.
Yeah.
Potato
the,
AC.
Wow.
Sky 95 and the potato.
Oh, I
patch.
can't wait to see him tonight at Drift.
They
Yeah.
never officially
Yeah.
signed off on the name Potato Patch, but it was so much better than Cut Cutters, which was like
Cut Cutters is the worst name I've ever heard in my life.
dustbin of history. Potato Patch is all right.
I mean, that's
Alright.
kind of funny.
I think it's funny too.
I just ended up calling patches at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
That was
Well,
good.
how
But
about the pro Valorant scene? How's that doing?
Sentinels fans are in tatters because Sentinels are almost certainly not making it to the next Big Masters. There is one way they get there.
You're telling me there's a chance.
And let's see, there are like three to four conditions depending on how you like mark this out. It's kind of a lot. So Sentinels have to go 2-0 in their game over Furia. Not impossible.
No,
G2 and NRG have to go 0-2 in their games.
which is less possible.
Less possible because I mean
Oh, they can only get in if other teams
they
screw
can
the pooch?
they can only get in if they win 2-0, if two other teams lose 0-2, and one of those teams who loses 0-2, yeah, big sag.
Big.
I muted my phone, but the alarm goes through it. It's
Embarrassing.
It's to tell me to not drink any more water.
The last
more water.
the last condition is that one of those teams who has to 0-2 currently has a plus 25 round differential over Sentinels. So Sentinels has to make up a minus 25 round differential over one of the teams who's losing. So they have to dominate. G2 has to like bottom out hard.
Yeah.
And so it's almost certainly not happening.
Well, and G2 has kind of been up and up, haven't they?
G2's in an interesting place. They swapped out one of their players, Net, who was like one of the central core from the old guard days.
Yeah.
And they got in this new guy, Icy, who's one of their duelists. They're pretty good. They were the Ascension team, so they were the ones who had been in Tier 2, won a spot into T1, and they're definitely not the worst team in Americas. That's probably... Brazilian fans don't watch this, so I don't have to be afraid.
Right.
Actually, that'd be a
I will
great
kill
way
you
to
in
get-
the night.
That would be a huge way to drive engagement.
Right.
Because
Just insult Brazilian fans?
yeah, because they are
They will send someone here to murder you.
okay. So like
True.
straight up, MIBR currently worst team in Americas by far. MIBR stands for Made in Brazil, so it's pretty tragic that your name, Brazil fans, is in MIBR. And
He
they're
said
doing so
Brazil
badly.
3 times. It have activated my sleeper cell.
So yeah, MIBR is pretty bad. Fury is not great. MIBR has potential because they have like coaches who are coaching for Loud, and Loud used to win stuff. But yeah, so Sentinels are out. We're gonna excuse them because they have more game tape than any other NA team, or America's team by far. They had to start really early in the summer or like in the off season, doing a whole bunch of like tier 2 tournaments to just show that there was a reason to have like Zelsis in instead of Pancata, internal stuff. But so there's lots of gameplay on Sentinels, and also while everybody else was taking a break, they were in Madrid. So it's pretty hard to go win a master
Right.
and not suffer any burnout and adapt as quickly as all these other teams are adapting, who
all
have
the
been
footage on you. Yeah.
Yep. They have all been watching what you're doing.
Yep.
They know, like, okay, this is the way the best team in the world plays Lotus. Everyone is now like that's what they download first. Like this is what works, and now they know how to counter it. So
That's kind of like in League where the West we finished way earlier than the Eastern teams for Worlds, and we still can't even get a game. But we have all this games footage to watch, and it's like, it just doesn't matter. We just can't. We don't have hands.
Just to make sure that Brazil teams don't kill me in my sleep.
right.
The two best teams in Americas right now are two Latin American teams, both of whom have Brazil players on them. Right now, Crew Visa Esports, owned by Lionel Messi and others, and Crew Visa as in like Visa card.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. MasterCard was sponsoring one of the Valorant events or matches, and so Crew Visa could not be introduced as Crew Visa because of MasterCard. So for that specific like walkout, it was just Crew. But then all the other ones go back to Crew Visa.
Crazy.
Yeah, or Cruisy. That should be cut. I'm so sad I did that. Normally I like my puns and I stand by them, but that was
I
bad.
just gave the best John Krasinski office look into the camera you've ever seen.
Okay,
It's staying in, David.
Okay, that's my regret for this episode. The other team, Leviathan, top in their group. Leviathan beat Sentinels. Leviathan's beaten everybody. He's the one that I referenced last time. The team that has the guy, Aspas, who does
Oh,
this
yeah. He does the big fade.
Yeah.
Leviathan, buy the Leviathan bundle.
Yeah, Leviathan looks great. Those two teams, both Latin American, they both have Brazil players. They are looking better than all the teams in North America right now. So I'm really excited. And they play each other this week. Go on VLR.gg and see when it is. But that is... It's probably going to be on a Friday or a Saturday where I can't watch. But that is one I'm actually not going to spoil for myself. And I am going to go back and watch because that's going to be a total banger. Yeah. But that's Valorant Esports right now.
Nice.
And you know who I didn't mention in any of that conversation? FaZe, who used to have a Valorant team,
a washed-up FPS
has
organization.
Yes.
Can you imagine only being worth $14 million? Absolutely.
Personally, it'd be great, but like if I was once valued at how much?
Like 200.
200 million.
If you were publicly traded, and then you're
delisted.
you're literally the price of a local like car washing franchise.
Yeah.
Like a car wash franchise. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, Walter White's car wash in Breaking Bad
speaking
probably
of
made more.
car
than
washing, like he washed his entire roster.
Yeah.
Like it has been cleaned up.
Yeah.
They actually just signed Jason Ween. I saw before we started this, or
To
Jason
FaZe?
Ween. Yeah. So Jason
FaZe
Ween
is just
Which
man.
means technically they're hiring.
They're
You know, I always
out with the old in with the new
FaZe
right
was
now.
always a cultural thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not
Like the 2010s.
to me. Yes, they had teams that did well.
Yeah.
But it's
It
like
was always the content.
Yeah.
The
it's the
storytelling.
content, the
Yeah.
stories, the culture of the org.
Yeah.
That's what. So it's like, why are you trying to go?
Public on the
Yeah.
stock
Do you
exchange, yeah.
does like does
Oh yeah. It was a cash grab by a bunch.
yeah,
of
I'm just saying. Yeah, but it's like it's such a stupid cast grab because they were making hand over fist. It's like if Eminem's like, yeah, I'm gonna go public with my brand as Eminem. You can
Yeah.
just buy shares of me.
I mean, it was a little different than that. 'cause,
I
like,
know, but I'm
it's
just
a
saying,
cream
like,
fry-
it's just
or
like,
cream fry.
what are you doing?
No, it's just like Eminem for us.
Oh right.
Yeah. FaZe equals.
Yeah, FaZe is. I barely even want to talk about
Eminem
FaZe, to be
is
honest with you. It's
That's
just
fine.
so lame.
Eminem is a
It's-
music
it's kinda
performer.
cringe right now.
Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
is a music performer. Snoop
But-
Dogg equals FaZe Clan.
I mean, you gotta respect. I'll say one thing though. You gotta respect FaZe coming back into it though. He's kind of pulling a Steve Jobs right now, right? Where he's just like, okay, you
Yeah,
guys
he's a
were
vegetarian now.
led astray. I really don't want to lose this brand. Like this brand, I don't want it to go down the toilet. So I'm gonna do some reimagining. We're gonna go back to our roots,
Yep.
type of thing.
Let's go.
So like, I do like what he's doing, but
Yeah.
it's just it feels bad for all the people that are getting burned along the way.
Yeah.
super.
All right, I want to do some quick points here so we can get on to our main thing. So last episode we talked about the T1 DDoS
Yeah.
interruptions. Rival, YouTube content creator for League of Legends, released a 18-minute little doc. He normally does like 3-minute short form content.
yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
He released like a little doc explaining how they're pretty sure they know what's happening to the Korean streamers that are getting DDoSed and even the actual professional games that were getting DDoSed. It was when the Riot source code was leaked. They found out that the Korean client has its own anti-cheat that was built in China. And there is a way to read the IP addresses of the accounts that are played And the account
'Cause China wants
information,
that, probably.
the account information also has a very easily unencrypted IP address tagged to it, which is how they were able to get into live games.
Gotcha.
And it didn't matter where the players were playing from. They would swap computers. They would swap internet ISPs. It
Yeah.
didn't matter.
Right.
The account was always giving it away.
Right.
So he concludes that is the actual problem. But how quickly can Riot fix that? Because it's the tournament realm.
Yeah.
So
It's a
they're
tournament
still
round, and it's all the way in their anti-cheat.
they're still to this day having issues.
Plus, if it was developed
So-
specifically in China,
Yeah.
maybe China is part of that process of having
Yep.
to update that.
Other thing, the largest.
Jinping called for the DDoS directly. That's my
The-
theory.
We're killing
the
Korean esports.
dominance.
Your theory was right last time. You know, this is my.
Except the Chinese players really like to play on the Korean server. So
Maybe that's
Yeah,
why
and Xi
China's
Jinping's mad
done
that,
with
that
it.
the Xi Jinping's mad that the Chinese servers aren't doing better.
We got to move on. The largest independent League of Legends content reporter, Travis Gafford.
Yes.
I think he is the largest independent. He is not going to the Saudi Arabia
Right.
esports events.
Which we talked very little about last
Yeah,
episode.
but watch his
Or 2
video.
episodes ago.
It was really good. He came out of the gate like, I'm a hypocrite because I still do things with Saudi money backed on it and other issues and
Okay.
riots, allegations for all their sexual harassment and all this type of stuff. He's like, but got to have a line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, I respect that. So yeah, that was pretty wild. He turned down. I mean, money's not good in the esports
Did he
scene.
give the reasons on why his line is drawn there, though?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was like a really well thought out video. It wasn't very long either. It was good.
So it's worth the watch.
Yeah, it's good to watch. And then also Gamers Nexus.
Yes. The
With-
EK water cooling.
Yes.
Debacle.
Now we're not a hardware channel, so I'm going to keep this brief.
But it does involve
I mean,
potentially people in the
Yeah, I don't
community.
know if EK sponsors
esports.
any esports teams. I know they sponsor
You
individual
have to pay.
streamers.
You have to pay to get
Very
sponsors.
funny, yes. Very funny. But yeah, Gamers Nexus. I follow them religiously for a lot of my hardware news.
Yeah.
They also do very in-depth private investigations.
They do. This
on
was
companies.
cool. This is the first
Yeah.
private investigation I've seen.
You didn't
from
watch the
them.
Artesian builds one?
No.
That one's really bad.
Is
that
it?
one's really bad. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So EK water blocks, famously the best water blocks you can buy. Literal gold, actual gold-plated water blocks. Amazing products.
Right.
But management is
really-
an absolute cluster.
Can I be the dumb one who doesn't know what a water block is?
So you have air cooling, which
Oh,
is
it's water cooling.
Yep. So this is
Is
water
that what-
cooling.
Like what's at the main?
That's what's on all our PCs.
Okay, that's what a water.
But the
okay.
block is the actual part that touches the processor.
Okay.
So when you're in water cooling world, it's not all connected. So you actually have to buy. You can buy your block here, your tubes here, your radiator here.
Okay.
Otherwise, we just call it an AIO.
Okay, got
all
it.
in one.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, this company makes very high end, very exquisite,
Well, and something-
gorgeous water. All the big water cooling channels, they all use EK. Like it's
Yeah.
dominated solely by them.
Well, they've had so many different configuration options too.
Yeah.
That's what's something that separates
Even
them
the
from other
brands,
ones.
it's like just to put in an example, even the brands that are worth 100 times more than EK cannot step into the industry.
Okay.
Because that's how good EK is. Like,
Wow.
like only Corsair.
Was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, their products are still amazing. And it's not, EK's not going anywhere. They're just going to restructure. I guarantee it.
So like it's a management
they
thing.
balance.
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There's the, funny enough, second time we're mentioning Slavic, because EK is actually a Slavic company. And so is Greg from Manor Lords.
Oh,
He's
really?
Slavic
Oh, I
Magic.
didn't know that.
Yeah, Slavic Magic. He's from Slovenia. So, anyways, yeah, that's a pretty big deal because it just came out of nowhere. I mean, out of nowhere.
Right.
And Gamers Nexus has been doing this where like every 6 months you're like, who's about to die? What is Steve about to come out
What's he
with?
cooking? Yeah.
Yeah. Intel killing babies over in this random country. What the heck, Steve? We have evidence and lawyers to back it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, like absolutely insane stuff. So, All right.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It seems like the corruption goes pretty deep on that, though.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's only a 40-minute video, but it's pretty amazing.
Well,
I mean,
they had a follow-up
He literally,
yesterday.
yeah, I didn't watch the follow up yet.
okay.
But like Gamers Nexus,
bad.
they're at the point when they make these videos, they're like, please, and then the camera like zoom in, try and sue us. We beg you,
Right.
try and sue us,
Yeah.
because they don't publish anything without already having like the
And
full
they
legal
don't-
law
props to
world
them.
like
Yeah.
well behind their backs. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and they keep some stuff out of the video.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't.
Yeah,
reveal
like little
it.
trump cards.
He actually is like,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, and we would show you these documents, but please try and sue us.
Right.
We will bring them up.
Well,
Like,
and
yeah.
he doesn't want to out the
sources.
anonymity.
Yeah. But some sources are willing to go on the record, and so we post their names and everything. So, yeah. All right, cool. What is our feature today?
Our feature is Escape from Tarkov.
Oh,
It
gosh.
is the debacle of now having a 250 unheard bundle available for sale that is replacing the previous $150. What was it called?
Edge of Darkness.
Edge of Darkness
Yeah.
bundle.
Oh, I actually just pulled that from memory
really?
too.
Dang, nice work. All right.
Because this one's the unheard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
the
one's
unheard
unheard,
of. Yeah.
and it has now been heard everywhere. And we'll
it's been
explain
heard.
why. So the new 250 unheard bundle has replaced the old 150 Edge of Darkness bundle, and the problem not just being that now it's $250 as opposed to $150, but there were certain promises made in the Edge of Darkness $150 bundle, including guaranteed access to Tarkov Arena when Tarkov Arena would be released. A unique secure container that was unique and so only available to those who bought the Edge of Darkness bundle.
Right.
And also various, like another problem is how pay to win or borderline pay to win this new unheard bundle is by comparison to the Edge of
Resource
Darkness bundle.
convenience, it really comes down to.
Yeah, it is a matter of resource convenience. Like you get better starting items. Scavs won't shoot at you
really?
if
Yes.
your reputation with fence is high enough. And for new players, it's often terrible because you end up shooting a scav when you're a scav, like I have done because I'm bad at the game, even though I played it. It was actually really funny that like the last thing I brought up of what we were playing was Tarkov, and then this thing happens.
Yeah.
So topical, but yeah. So scavs won't shoot at you at a certain distance if your reputation's maxed out. And
I believe you get it starting out with this package, right? You get the
Yes, yeah, you get the better
so
stuff.
essentially, you're not going to get shot at
You're
by
skipping
scavs.
at a certain,
a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah, if you have the
reputation
rep.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then last there is there's a feature where, and they're not exactly sure how it's supposed to work, but there's a feature where if you're in the middle of a firefight, you are going to be able to call in some of your friends who are online
yeah, that's
to help
right.
you out. So you get to do like a Helldivers 2 stratagem, bringing people in.
In SOS.
So like you're in a 1v2 or something, suddenly your three besties drop in with their gear and their new unique items and like take the fight for you.
You know what I love that you brought up Helldivers was on the Reddit, on the Reddit post of this, the number one comment was, instead of $250, you could buy you and every one of your friends Helldivers.
Yeah, that's funny. That's actually super funny.
It's like
And
you
have
could
way
just
more
go do that and have way more
Way more
fun.
fun.
Yeah, honestly.
So the problem with the Tarkov Arena bit is that the old Edge of Darkness bundle promised everybody who would buy it, the old $150 bundle, that they would get access to Tarkov Arena once it comes out. Now,
Well, and all DLC.
All DLC.
all
Yes.
DLC. Tarkov Arena was one example of DLC.
Yeah.
But now, Battlestate Games went back to the old description of the bundle, the Edge of Darkness bundle, and edited out access to the
arena.
Tarkov Arena, and is now claiming that Tarkov Arena doesn't count as DLC. It is not
They are
downloadable
not defining
content.
it right.
It is not downloadable content. It is a feature of the new
Of the
game,
unfinished
yeah,
game.
of the new unfinished game. So people are rightfully up in arms about this. Their landmark.
Not to mention the unique shipment
Yes,
is
yes.
now no longer called
Yes,
unique.
yes, they edited out the word unique.
Yeah.
So people who bought a unique secure container now go back and see that they changed the wording and they say they just actually bought a secure container because you're going to get it in the $250 bundle.
Right. It's no longer unique. It's just carried on into the next bundle.
And so, like one of the biggest Tarkov streamers, if not the biggest Tarkov streamer, Landmark. He was discussing this on stream and was discussing how upset he was at all of this.
Yeah.
Like upset at the 250, upset at like this no longer promised DLC coming to people who bought the old Edge of Darkness version. And he had at the beginning of the stream or earlier in the stream the old webpage up where it still said unique secure container. Yeah. Well, he didn't even have it. Like he had it open.
Oh, he saw the change live.
Yeah, he saw the change live.
Stream.
He had it. It said unique secure container and access to Tarkov Arena.
Someone at BSG was watching his stream and like, oh,
or
we
it was
gotta
just terrible
change
timing.
that.
Probably,
But like
I would assume it would be.
Yeah.
I'd assume
he
it's
opens
more,
it up in a
didn't think
bit.
of that, but yeah.
He opens it up in a bit, and then he sees it right there. No more unique. No
That's
more
right,
access to
'cause
Tarkov
no more
Arena.
Because he was talking with Asmongold,
Yeah,
and he's like, "This just happened."
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Asmongold, oh, when did they do this? He goes like,
On stream.
Just
like
this morning.
Like this
yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Which props to Asmongold for like actually
Getting them in.
getting
Yeah.
Landmark into a stream.
Yeah.
Asmongold, for any of you who don't know, is
Oh my
one
God.
of the absolute largest.
Anyone on YouTube knows.
I
that.
mean, yeah, Asmongold is one of the largest.
Dude, you have to be
Twitch
pretty
streamers.
big to be uncancelable, and that man's uncancelable.
That man's actually uncancelable.
He's massive.
Yeah.
He has like a gravitational force. I
Yes,
think.
he does. He
Yeah.
he actually can just say whatever he wants.
Yeah, and he does.
No.
Okay, maybe maybe not that
he
level.
can say a lot.
He says what some people call pretty base things,
Yes.
and
Yes.
sometimes it takes people. To
It's
the
his
wrong way.
conviction.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what it
yes.
is, yes.
It's his conviction and the fact that he hasn't betrayed his core audience.
Absolutely not.
Right?
No.
He-
Well,
he stays pretty true to
he
character.
has his own values,
Yes.
and he
He's
wears
also
them on his
absolutely-
sleeve.
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
he also needs to clean his room.
Yeah, but he owns that. And there are a lot of people who watch him and love him who haven't cleaned their room.
I
And
will
so
say,
it's-
if you ever watch this video, "Why I Live a Simple Life," it is pretty well.
Okay.
It's pretty well spoken.
Nice.
Like he's multi-millionaire.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and yeah,
Right.
he literally, I think he lives on a budget of like $800 a month.
Which is
like,
insane.
which is great.
And he's like, I choose.
He's a dragon, is what he is. He just likes to hoard his wealth.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he doesn't. He
just talks.
for him. It's like as long as I can do the thing that I did yesterday, I don't need to spend money. Why? Why would I
Right.
ever spend money? Like,
Exactly.
why?
Which I respect.
Asmongold's a character.
But yeah, so this Tarkov crap is, this is worse than the Blizzard Watchpoint pack. In some,
Well,
that was close to
I'm
my
gonna
heart.
provide a little bit.
Way worse.
I want to provide a little bit of background to any viewer watching who don't know Tarkov.
Yes, good point.
Okay,
Good point.
because Tarkov occupies a very rare space in the gaming industry that the base model of the game, I believe, is $60. Okay, that's not really surprising to that to many people.
Yep.
This game is available in its own launcher, so it's not like you buy it off of Steam. You have to install its launcher.
Battlestate Games Launcher, yep.
The really interesting thing is that to get all the goodies and to actually play the game, what most people would say the consistent and fun way, you actually have to buy, and it's not $150, by the way. It's $180.
Is the
It's
new
that Edge of Darkness, where you get like the more premium version of the game, is $180. That's the number I remember.
That's not the one that Landmark and
No,
no,
You're
no,
for
they
sure.
said it
Oh,
was-
I swear I heard 180. Regardless,
Yeah,
You're
it's
probably
still
thinking
the
of the
same.
150 bundle.
Yeah, you're probably
Okay, yeah, I know it's okay. More people buy that
yes.
Yeah.
Buy
than
the
actually
60.
buy even the normal amount. Okay, so
I bought the 60 edition. I can see why people bought the 150.
Yeah.
that is a struggle. My secure container is tiny.
yes,
They get like a 3x3. I get a 2x2. If you're like a Tarkov, if you understand
Yeah.
Tarkov and you understand how many things you would love to be able to extract with without losing that extra, it's more than twice as big.
So they make the game painful for people who don't buy the more expensive amount. Now, most people are like, there's no way I'm paying $150 for a video game, but Tarkov gives you something that no other game gives you, which is absolute dedication to realism.
Yeah.
And the fact that
Like even more so than
The
Arma.
caliber
I don't know if
and-
you guys know what Arma is, but
Arma, yeah, I know Arma. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that, it's like
like I remember when Nate was working here.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Bro, the amount of caliber knowledge that I have learned
Yes.
Yeah.
from playing this
Actually.
game." He's like, "I know everything now."
Yep.
Right.
And it's like I can talk to gun guys who actually own all these guns, and they would never know that I don't own all these guns because the game is that real. And like he's like, "Oh, I know exactly the 7.62 ammo
Any
work
gun
in these
you
guns."
can
And-
make in Tarkov and run with is a gun you could conceivably use
build.
in real life.
Yes.
That means every attachment that could be put on
Yeah.
that gun is an attachment that is sold in real
Yes.
life. All of the Picanti rails. Like, I did not know. Oh, Picatinny rail.
Yeah, Picatinny.
You
Yeah,
can-
yeah.
I'm not a gun guy. I just played Tarkov. But now I'm able to talk. Justin likes guns.
Yeah, yeah.
I was able to pretend I knew something. By
Yeah,
by
it is-
using
You do know
Tarkov.
it now.
Well, yeah.
It is.
That's the thing.
It is.
I do know
It is that wild. And
Yeah.
so, the way that bullets work, the way that injury works in the game.
Yes.
Obviously, it's the first extraction shooter.
Yes.
Which is about to become a heavily.
The injury thing, like for
Yeah.
the people who don't, like you don't just use a health potion and
Right.
your base health goes up. Like if you have light bleeding, that's a bandage, which is not healed by like a heavy bleeding item. The heavy bleeding item is different from a light bleeding item, and also you have a splint because if you get shot in your femur and you have a broken leg, or if you jump from too high and your leg breaks, you can't just use the basic tools that you use to
Right.
heal bleeding. You have to use a splint or a surgical container.
If you're limping in the game, it actually shows up as limping, right?
Yeah, it shows up
Yeah.
as limping, and
Yeah.
also you like make noise. Your character
Yeah.
is grimacing in
Like,
pain,
yep.
and other players can feel
hear
that.
you.
I
Yep.
recently extracted by walking at least a third of the distance of the largest map with two completely broken legs, like grunting as loud as anyone in the server because I didn't have the unique secure container, so I was able to bring in a couple fewer things. Also, I'm broke on my character because I die so often, so I have like nothing left. But like it scratches an itch that other games just don't. Like as an other games haven't. Which is a point. It's an extraction looter shooter, which means that if you go in and you die, all your stuff goes except for the stuff that's in the
roguelike.
secret
Rogue,
tank. It's a
yeah.
roguelike. Yeah. A lot of games don't do that. And DMZ tried to for a little while, but like COD isn't even adding new content to DMZ anymore. They like toss
It's all
up-
about zombies now.
Yeah, it's all about zombies. But Aaron, your theory.
Because zombies became an extraction mode because of Tarkov.
Yeah.
Well, and
Right.
it's like this extraction. I think a lot of it too with like the way that this game is, it attracts hardcore players.
Yes.
Like no one casually plays Tarkov. Have literally not met one like, I play once a week.
Yeah,
or something. It's like
casually.
that's your game. You play that game. That is your game. And because
Yeah,
they're
'cause if you
hardcore
add
players,
up the money that we're spending on games,
that's
'cause
what
we
I'm saying.
don't play a Tarkov. Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
easily over $150.
Yeah, but see, they're like that's why they'll pay the 150.
Right.
And yes, what you're about to pivot into is, I think because this extraction shooter model, it's like when PUBG first came out, no one was doing a battle royale.
Right.
I mean, we had H1Z1, but who's
Nobody.
that had some,
some, yeah.
but it wasn't. It
I didn't
wasn't.
know.
It wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know anyone that played it.
If it was more of a survival game than a battle royale.
Right.
Yeah.
But it had some of that. That was the foundation for what PUBG later became.
Yeah.
And PUBG, man, I remember when PUBG came out. I still remember playing with my buddy Ed, Cal Tip, and Kyron. And it was us four, and that's the second most played game under Age of Empires in League. So it's like my third most played game. Yeah. I think if I look at Steam, it says like 600 hours.
Dang.
Like I remember we just stopped playing everything to play that game. It was so different. The guns in that game handled like no other game I ever played.
Right.
It still handles well. I booted it up a couple months ago. I'm like, what is PUBG doing these days?
They're even
They
doing
added a whole new
engine.
map.
Yeah, they're doing a whole new
Yep.
engine too now.
And I was like, wow, okay. And then
I
obviously
mean, it initiated a genre. Like there
it did.
Yeah.
We have Fortnite because of PUBG.
exactly.
I mean,
Warzone.
Yeah.
Warzone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, but PUBG started it. And so Tarkov has been enjoying the PUBG years of success.
They've also maintained that they are still a closed beta game. So this whole time, they still advertise that this is for the closed beta version of the game.
Right.
There will one day be, in principle, the actual full release of Tarkov.
Which is how they're getting around the DLC
Yes,
clause.
exactly.
From their own
Yeah, I want to talk about some of that here in a second.
Interpretation,
But
yes.
but basically, this is what I believe is happening with this $250 bundle.
Okay.
We have games like The Gray Zone, which I don't know if either of you have looked up.
I just since you mentioned it, I started looking at it. It seems cool.
Yeah,
it seems
it
like
does.
there's potential.
I don't know how
Released
much you looked
with
into it, David.
Massive performance issues.
That's also true.
I haven't seen any of that. All I'm saying is the fact that you're allowed to figure out the game without firing a shot, and it's apparently still very compelling, is really cool to me. And the fact that there are other humans. It's PvPvE.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So like
you
can
can kill other people.
Well, absolutely.
You can kill.
But you don't have to. And as a matter of fact, you can even see each other and decide not to do anything. Or you can fire a couple rounds and try to get the AI. Oh, yeah. And there are like all these stories.
I feel like that's how Marathon's going to be.
Oh, I don't know.
Marathon,
I don't know
another
about
game.
Marathon.
I don't know much either. I just know that like that is another game that we're thinking.
Right. So the Gray Zone and Marathon,
And the Tencent
Bungie's
Club.
next big
Yeah.
game. I mean, this game's
Breakout
gonna be-
Arena.
Yeah. And that was actually really funny. That Asmongold mentioned that in the video. I think Landmark mentioned it in Asmongold's
Yeah, I
video.
think Landmark's
But
on it,
the
yeah.
Arena Breakout, it used to be a mobile game. They just released their PC version of the game, Arena Breakout Infinite. There, after the Tarkov drama,
You can
happened-
wishlist it. It's
You can
on
okay.
there, yeah.
You can wishlist it. But after this Tarkov snafu happened, Arena Breakout Infinite's Twitter page said, "We will never scam our players, and we will always be free." And the Tarkov developer responded to this: "Have a fun 20 minutes playing." Oh, in a plagiarist game. Have a fun 20 minutes in a blatantly plagiarist game.
Yeah.
And that is not what you say if your entire fan base is furious at you. Okay,
Yeah,
brush
because they
this off by
don't.
saying it's going
They're
to be a
not
20 minutes.
addressing any of the community outcry.
Yeah, no. They're just saying, "Oh, it sucks. It's plagiarist. You're gonna last 20 minutes." It's just it's like yeah.
So this is what I think is happening with Tarkov is they know these games are coming out and they're not going to be the only fish in the pond anymore.
Yeah.
And here's the problem: when you've already made all your money,
Yeah.
Why put more money back into it when your market is already saturated?
I mean,
It doesn't
they're
even make
bringing out
financial
the
sense.
Arena, so it's like they still have.
Yeah, they say that, but
future.
what is that even going to be?
Is it going to be Overwatch PvE?
So my
Overwatch 2?
thought, yeah, exactly.
There
If
could be.
Blizzard can say all
I bought
that and then
something
pull
that said
out-
I was going to get
Right,
Overwatch.
right.
I had the equivalent of a guarantee that I was going to get Overwatch 2 PvE.
So
What do you know?
Yeah, it's so nasty, man. Like, there's no way to have these guys' the developers' intent. Like,
Yeah,
take their side.
So
There's no way to take their side on any of this.
This does give a whole new meaning to the word extraction shooter because they are extracting
your money.
all of the value they possibly can from their existing fan base.
So I'm thinking $250 because they're just we need to get the last bit of money from this community over the next 18 months,
But
and then
completely, like,
I don't think they're shutting down.
they're not shutting down.
I just
but
think they know there's not going to be. They're not going to be able to do that in 18 months.
But the community or the players that bought the $150 bundle,
They can get bent. What are you going to do? You're not going to stop playing Tarkov. That's what they're thinking. That's what
Yeah.
BSG is
Right.
thinking.
That's true.
What are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to stop? I'll release the same Lux skin recolored. And guess
that's
what?
essentially what
all the
it's
Lux
doing
players
is-
are just going to buy that Lux skin.
Yeah.
They've done it before. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, we these companies employ psychologists.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't
Riot
know.
has literally come out and said, we employ psychologists.
You know,
Yeah.
Tarkov, Russian-made game, Russia, where Pavlov's dogs happened. You know, like one of the most important psychology experience. Like the
Yeah,
you know, and
I'm
they
just
learned
saying,
things in
like-
the gulags too. I think.
Yeah.
The actual gulags.
I would say my closing thoughts on the Tarkov thing would, I feel like these pre-alpha, alpha, beta, early access, all these things, I feel like we need probably to have legal classifications on what they mean, as opposed to just being, we're just calling them that. I think it's getting to the point where, when you have like Tarkov, who's probably made millions and millions and millions of dollars and is still in beta.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that even mean? Like, shouldn't there be Like, I understand
the
that
idea though
you
of
wanna-
slapping a law into place where people should just pull their freaking heads out of their asses.
But if you have no choices because everyone's now doing early access, beta, alpha.
don't
will say
spend
this is
over
the-
$100
I
on an
agree, but
early
there-
access game. Period.
I'm normally like that. I am normally like just your consequences, your problem.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, has Sean taught me that you have to really just make things sometimes for the lowest common denominator. Like, I mean, hey,
I don't
think
know.
about
I think it
seatbelts.
gets too
Seatbelts.
great.
We had to
Yeah, but this isn't
force
that.
seatbelts.
We're not
It's not-
saving people's
I
lives.
know, but you get my point.
It's not. It's yeah. We didn't opt into seatbelts because we were told that there's going to be like
Okay, how about
a
this?
full release seatbelt, and this is the closed beta version.
yeah, fair
And you're
enough.
gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we just did it. Like the alpha was good enough.
How about Steam? How about we do it ourselves and we petition Steam to be like, okay, if it says early access, it must launch at this price, and early access must be half off.
I mean, that's up to Steam. And that's the
I know
thing.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like,
Steam can do
yeah.
whatever they want, right? But like, I would like to see something like that. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
Petition would be interesting if Valve listened.
Or if Steam would be like anything. See, Steam just did the opposite of what I'm about to say. You know, the whole 2-hour play refund thing.
Yeah.
Technically, if it's early access, if the
That
game
doesn't apply?
if the game ever launched, you could just refund it. So you could
Oh,
play
interesting.
100 hours of early access, but as soon as the game launched, as long as you got the patch, you know,
Yeah.
as long as you didn't play the 2 hours there, you just refund the game. Steam just patched that. They
Nice.
just
That's cool.
They just
That's a really cool feature.
nope. They just patched it because
Oh,
a lot
they can't do
a
it.
ton of people were doing that. They would play the game for hundreds of hours.
That's the whole point.
And then yeah. So,
We all want
but
free
I would be
content.
interested in Steam.
Well, I was like, I didn't like this game actually, even though I put 100 hours into it. But
I mean, I'd be interested in Steam saying if someone refunds your early access game, we keep half of the money.
that makes more sense after a
Something
certain
like
time
that.
period.
Yeah, just something to like keep the publishers more like, oh yeah, we should probably, even if we're going to do early access, this probably needs to be decent.
Right.
Or even if the player only gets half their money back. Steam gets to keep the half of money from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because they have to do the transactions. They have to do.
Right.
Steam's got some cost in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe not legislative, but like something needs to come together because it's just going to keep getting worse. I mean, think about the amount of games that really like Battlefield 2046. It was so bad,
42, yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Like Steam was like, we're just going to refund everybody.
Yeah.
Like we're pulling it from the
Yeah.
damn store.
Sony's done that a couple times.
Sony did that?
on Cyberpunk. They did
Yeah.
that. They
Yep.
took it off their
Oh
store.
yeah, because it wouldn't
Yeah.
perform on the
Right.
the PS4s, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
barely performed elsewhere. But
it's like those are pretty egregious examples, but there's a lot of pretty bad examples that didn't get that far,
Yeah.
but they're still pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, at what level? Yes, the consumer definitely has the ultimate
Right.
lion's share.
Well, and that's
I'll
why-
say 90%.
That's why people like you and we're talking about this stuff. It's like, be aware that there are developers that just don't have your freaking interest in mind, and
Yeah.
they will take advantage of you. These guys are taking advantage of the player base. The player base that not only put them on the map, but made the genre what it is,
Yeah.
they're the ones that are getting punished.
Yeah.
The guys that said, yes, this is the innovation
The
that we
early
want
launchers,
in
yeah,
shooters.
Yeah.
We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We want this stuff.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, guess what? Your money doesn't really matter that much.
no,
to
just
us.
it does. Just give us more of it.
Yeah, just
Sure.
give us more of
Yes.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Just don't pay too much attention to what we said before.
Right.
Yeah, like you already like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like us a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
You'll
and then,
take what I
and
give
then
you.
saying that like what they're going to be promised, they're just completely gaslighting their entire community. Then no, that's not DLC.
You guys don't have phones?
That's funny. It's
All
a
right.
Blizzard reference.
Well, thank you so much for watching episode 4 of season 2.
Season 2.
Hopefully, we have moving, talking bodies this time, unlike last week.
Yeah.
Did you guys even watch any of last week? Like, go back and watch it?
Yeah, our faces light up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Quinn
that
did
was
it.
cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Quinn.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
we
was
appreciate you,
That was
Quinn.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now we have
Good episode too.
we have Jen behind the cameras now to make sure we don't do anything goofy. Love you, Jen. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about some more crazy stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll have played Clash and Gigantic by then.
Yeah, I will
Yes.
have leveled up.
Yes.
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 Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you.